Hey there team, and welcome to a 3v5 on the rebuilt Osgiliath. Now, there's a few things that I've kind of gotten goofed up in the 9.7 version of Reforged, and the rebuilt Osgiliath walls have kind of suffered some catastrophic damage, and they work just fine, and I actually expected them to all be pitch black, so them all being bright and white is relatively Gondorian, but it's just something we're going to have to deal with here. We've got Beast Mode on as one of our first defenders, playing as Numenor, which is pretty good, so perhaps this is how the Numenorians originally intended to build Osgiliath. So that makes total sense to me. We've got the Belegar archers here, and I think this is actually with an armor upgrade. A defender is always going to have a bit more cash to spend in that regard. And Y2K is his ally here. They've not actually been given their initial chance to deploy just yet, so we're just going to be going through that, and then we'll have a quick look at how they've deployed afterward. So we've got the Wardens of the White Tower, mixing it up with some Fountain Guard here. Then the Vanguard of King Elisar, again by Y2K. Some Shadow Bows from Numenor, and and the Nimlothian Honor Guard too. So lots of elites from Gondor, and then some Pilgrim Marines again by Y2K. More Pilgrim Marines. Marksmen of Caer Andros. More marksmen. Goodness siege, because as soon as the enemies start climbing up the walls, you don't have to run away from it. And this is MSQ here, so MSQ sent me this battle. He sent me a few battles, so I'll be rattling through those over the next little while. He's got his Vanguard of King Elisar, along with some veterans of Osgiliath of Y2K. Then more veterans from MSQ, again fully armoured up. A lot of money spent on the defenders here. And the Wardens of Minas Ithil behind them. Some more marksmen of Caer Andros. And some Pilgrim Marines. More Pilgrim Marines. And I think that is... No, I just lagged for no reason there. Then some... Oh dear, yeah, this is a dicey section actually. I think that's why. That's why it's a dicey section. Some more Gondor archers from MSQ and some more Gondor archers. So, oh dear, I'll have to come back to that. We're seeing a trebuchet, seeing some Ravenhelms and Romena units, Seafarers of Nindamos, and some Rena bows and Belegar archers again. Then also in this, so that's all three armies. I've just had the AI dunk them there at the start. Then some marksmen of Caer Andros and more Ithilien rangers. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the amount of marksmen of Caer Andros that the defenders have brought. I think when it comes to a siege, it's always a good idea to take these more elite archers. You know, not so much because you can do more damage with their actual arrows, but because you can really rely on them to hold up in melee, which is really important for the ending, grinding stage of a siege. So now we'll just wait for the attackers to finish off their deployment. I'm actually quite surprised that it's taken the attackers so long to deploy, but I guess they're just trying to decide who's coming where. It's quite interesting. So we've got 3 attackers coming in from this, which I would generally view as the more difficult side to attack, and then just 2 attackers coming from the west. But I quite like that narratively, because of course it would be more difficult to get these armies on the western side of the river, whereas the eastern side of the river is closer to Mordor and such. So these 2 forces here, I'm not sure what armies we've actually got. I know blue is Umbar, black I suspect is Mordor, I believe. I'll jump up to 2 speed. As I say, it's quite surprising that the boys are... It's nice to see that the boys are really thinking through their attacking positioning, and we'll be sure to pay attention to that. Good, okay, so we've got some Harad men. They've, I suppose, come round from the far north to get here, played by Mark of the Knight. He's I love this formation. It's very nice to look at. So, let's just sort of examine that. That's cool. Yeah. Might grab that. I don't know. I'll see what I want to do as a screenshot, but that's pretty beautiful. So got some gap rim here, 2 units on the back, some E-strong crossbows, some camels chosen, and then 3 of these flag rim here. The Dragon's Breath cannon. Interesting to see it brought to a siege. Hopefully it'll be useful. Then 2 Scion rim there. The Dragon's Wrath crossbows, Narem and Narem on the right. Love the symmetry. And then he's got his nice line of siege towers there. So tough to assault that. if the defenders were to sally out. But when you're fighting Gondor and Numenor, you could see a sally out happening, but it's probably not too likely. Another fortress set up here outside by Trebor, playing as Mordor. So he's got his orc fodder, some temple guard there, some mountain trolls, some Olakai, the bulldogs, along with their temple executioner allies. Well, the other temple no armor upgrade for the temple executioners. Some Nazgul have been brought today. They've managed to swim across the river despite their hatred of water. 2 orc javelins there. Minas Morgul chosen. Blackguard of Barad-dûr, 2 of them there. And then some orc fodder again. Not a very large army, but we're seeing a heck of a lot of elites brought, and there could be some hidden units among their forces too. The first eastern attacker here. Oh, of course, they're inside. This will be Canned. Canned is orange. Some Variag bowmen in the back there, nomadic infantry, more nomadic infantry, and some more Variag warriors. This is a very small sort of combat width on this side of the battlefield, so I hope he'll be able to use his archers well, and they're not just going to be sitting on top of each other. This is Pharaoh, by the way, or Pharaoh. Yeah, Pharaoh. Nurad Footman, lots of Nurad Footman there. Big fan of this, especially up against Gondoriath. I don't think you can go wrong with that. Some Nurad halberdiers carrying ladders. I've got some terrible moments with ladders in the recent past, so I'll be avoiding them for now. Nurad Stormguard, and 2 units of these nomadic marauders. Brotherhood of the Axe, 2 units of Brotherhood of the Axe. No, sorry, I was looking at that wrong. Some nomadic warriors and the Brotherhood of the Axe, and then Brotherhood of the Sword too, and then Variag warriors. I absolutely love Variag warriors with an armor upgrade. I think they look fantastic. You know, very, very Eastern look to them. But standard Variag warriors look good too. Lord Blackcoal here playing as Umbar. The Tainted Sons of Numenor. We've got the Sentinels there. Some Adunaim Shield Guard. Balkith Shield Bearers, some Al-Karondas Legion, 2 of them, and then some Axe Guard standing by. No armor upgrades for these guys, which they're effective enough without it, and their armor is pretty damn good. Looking at that, now of course there'll be some Corsair crossbowmen I would expect. Nope, most of it's over here. Belagar Pikes, Footmen, Royal Guard, more archers, some Footmen, some marksmen there. More marksmen and Belagar archers. Of course, this is rebuilt, so we actually have bridges now. We don't have to foot slog it across the water like a peasant. We can cross these bridges nice and happily. Now, I still don't know if this bridge can be used or not. We'll just have to see. Yeah, because that is another avenue for the attackers to use, and another Mordor force here. But I don't want it. So I'm glad that we've got 2 Mordors today. It's nice to have a heap load of these orcs coming to try and take the city. Orc fodder there, some Sauron's Will. Temple Executioners, a nice blob there, but we'll try and make it out. We're seeing some Blackguard again. More on infantry, more Blackguard, as I say. Orc Javelins and Orc Archers, and the Olakai, and more on infantry. Now, there could be Nazgul hiding in amongst that. That's what you'd usually, if you're going to make a blob like this in the early deployment phase, you're going to sort of hide something in it, but I don't really see the Nazgul. But, yeah, nope, that's the whole point, I suppose. He might not have one. He's got a larger force than his ally across the river, so he might not have been able to afford that, but he also... Oh, sorry. Oh, no, I thought I saw them there. And he's leaving his siege towers outside, which I think is a solid choice. There's no point in mucking about with them inside. A defender would be quite silly to actually sort of sally out and try and battle you on these bridges and such. So the attackers are going to come forward here, and I suspect the main battle is going to be happening in this section for them. I will be interested to see if they can cross that bridge, because if they can come right to this town centre. And now Gondor is going to be able to just form a brutal line there and hammer them as they try and get across the bridge. So it would perhaps be more of a death trap for the attackers to do this, but we'll see. And that's us underway. Let's just have a quick slow down and just glance over the walls. It looks like on this section anyway, the defenders have kind of left the walls empty, but that's because there's no attackers over there. We do have some archers prepared and ready for the movement here. Of course, they won't be firing right now, because that would be pointless. They would just be going right into the front of those siege towers. Again, empty barren walls. We do have a sally from MSQ with some Mithrandir's retinue. Yeah, okay, they can actually do some bloomin' terrible work. Some Romena bows. You don't really want to be wasting their ammunition, so you got to be careful. And some more Mithrandir's retinue. If we can get some coordination, and there's no wargs, there's no temple executioners. Yes, the orc fodder are spears, as are the orc javelins, but at least we've got some Minas Morgul chosen, but it's still pretty scary. And no, see, no wargs have been brought by any of the defenders. Any of the attackers today. Even Kand hasn't taken any melee cavalry of any sort. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just, you know, there's nothing that could support them even if they could get across the river. Now it's interesting to see who is going to make the first strike, because the attackers on this side of the battlefield really could strike right off the bat. But if they come in too fast, their allies over on this side of the river are going to be doing, you know, they're already going to be gone by the time the attackers on this side of the river are over. I remember the first time I attacked Osgiliath. I think I did just that. I was over on this corner. I struck right off the bat, and although I racked up a lot of kills, I was killed. I was wiped out, and then they were just able to move over and attack my allies. So yeah, it was kind of pointless. I kind of screwed the pooch on that one. MSQ's lurching forward, which I think is a pretty sensible choice actually. The enemy is going to be so constrained as they cross this bridge that if you've got the archers to spare, yeah, you should use them. Now what's going on over here? I think we've got a duo of Mithrandir's. Yeah, it's 2 full units of Mithrandir's retinue used in tandem pretty well together. If they're able to micromanage these 2 units of cav, this could be horrific for the attackers on this end. But you know, this is really why I think just 1 unit of wargs could well, of course Mordor can't really bring wargs. And neither can Rune. Rune could grab the... there's a few units of cav Rune could take, but no, I think it's alright. They've poured a fair bit of money into what they need. The Mark of the Knight is coming for it. As I say, this is kind of where I'd be a bit cautious. Now, because it isn't all about just getting kills. I think if he came forward now, as he is, I think he's going to do some good work. But I just hope he doesn't gas himself out, and then... you know, before his allies are even able to launch their strike. Are we seeing these bridges come into use yet? No. I think everybody's shuffling around. I don't expect... It's quite interesting, because this... No, this can be crossed. I just can't remember... No, I don't think that's ever a bridge in the other version either. And we have I don't want it moving around. So maybe that is blocked off, because surely his units would have path to use that, if not. Now, the attackers on this end have so many archers, I think they would definitely be best to lead the charge across this bridge with archers, and MSQ either has to shoot at them or just take shot after shot, and these Gondor archers, especially with the 2 levels of armor upgrade that MSQ has given them, he'll be wanting to use them in melee. Gondor spears standing behind, as I say, massive armor on these guys. And great shields, so they can just take arrow fire all day if they want. But the siege towers have already made it. And to be honest, with what beast mode has over here, he's going to need some support. It looks like Mark was just setting up his siege towers, right, I see. So he sees he's not really under threat from a sally, so he's just setting up the siege towers now, so that he can fall back, and when he lurches forward later, he doesn't have to wait. He can just go straight for it. Now, something that's great for the defenders here is that these towers are operational, and that's something they definitely need to be trying to use on this end of the battlefield to give them a bit of an edge. You know, you need to make sure you're activating as many towers as possible. Right now, I think this one could be getting activated, which I think the footmen are actually maybe activating it. We're not seeing them fire though. But no, because it's just free kills. It's not many, but it's free. They're not expending any ammunition to get it done. Mithrandir's retinue just holding back. They've got no need to attack right now. I think there's a lot of times where a defender, when they do sally out, they think they need to do it beforehand. You know, they forget that it's the attackers that have the initiative. It's the attacker's job to push. So, you know, they still just strike with their cav right off the bat, trying to get like a surprise attack, I suppose. But you know, sometimes once you get out of the castle, just hold, just wait. It's very frustrating for an attacker, but in a lot of ways, kind of serves them right for not bringing a unit of melee cav. Belegar footmen advancing forward in shield wall. I know that shield wall is going to give them a sort of a little bit more of a resistance to these shots, but I would have them spread out just because of how easy a target they are right there. You know, the bridge is always going to compact you together, but it's a wide bridge. It's an incredibly wide bridge, so your men would be able to get a bit of spread. But still, Lord Blackhole's not going to be too worried here about losing these men. So, you know, they'll. But I would with the amount of archers that the attackers have brought today, I would be sending forward an archer unit before I'd be sending forward a Belegar footman, because Belegar footmen, they're crummy militia tier, but I quite like them. Now Pharaoh's got to be careful here because you know, he's left some of his boys behind. They've sort of gotten glitched on this little section. They'll I don't think they're going to find their way around. And having a few men tied up like this is just going to confuse the unit when orders start being given. This hopefully isn't trolls. Please don't say you've chased them with trolls. Oh, my man. Trebor, no! Although trolls do have an anti-cavalry bonus, they're going to really suffer. You're seeing an Olakai has already dropped there to that charge. And MSQ will be loving that. Yes, you know, a lot of these horses have been hurt really badly. You know, Gandalf himself is in a dicey situation, but they're just going to be able to come in and do some cycle charging. I understand exactly why Trebor has done this. You know, they have an anti-cavalry bonus and they're quick, but people just forget how much damage a Lancer charge can just do to them. Even if you are incredibly beefy. You know, we're seeing these mountain trolls dropping like flies. Even the Olakai have taken a lot of losses. And they're going to be so valuable in the later stages of this. Not even in any stage of the battle, trolls will be valuable. Y2K wasn't really able to pull off a great charge there. Which, you know, Y2K, just take your time. Just get away and then come back. You know, there's no rush here. These trolls, they've got a long way to return home. If I was Trebor at this point, I'd probably just sacrifice the mountain trolls. Just mountain trolls are going to die, just get them stuck in, and just get your Olakai back. This was definitely a misstep. We're seeing the Minas Morgul Chosen coming forward. You know, this is maybe... Yeah. I don't know how I would have dealt with this, really. I as terrible as it sounds, I would have probably ignored it. You know? Just, you've got enough spears. You've got the Minas Morgul Chosen, you've got the Orc Fodder. You know, I would have just said, yep, stuff it. You can sit there and stare me down. I don't care. I'm just gonna watch my flanks as I'm sending men up. I'm gonna be coming up those siege towers, just basically like the formation that he's had there. Just move it straight forward. Leave the rams behind, you know, don't need that, but yeah, because right now these trolls are gone. Minas Morgul Chosen are gonna come forward to babysit them. It's good that he's managed to get some of them back, but these men are gonna be hurt. These poor trolls have definitely taken a bit of a beating there, and MSQ and Y2K will be pretty chuffed with their with the damage they've done already. I wouldn't say they've not paid for the Mithrandir's retinue just yet, but they've done a heck of a lot of damage with them. And with lancers of that quality, to be honest, and that heavily armored, have they gone for armor upgrades on them? I'm not actually too sure what it looks like. I think they have. Yeah, they both sort of look the same though. Because you can give them an armor upgrade, but I'm not sure what it ends up looking like. Now, I think we've actually got some movement going on over here. Interesting stuff, Mark. Okay, he is Oh no, he's moved them up. Scary to lead the charge with the Shadow Guard, because those Shadow Guard are going to fall away to arrow fire, which beast mode on is Like, you've got two ways that you can use walls, I think. Well, a few more, no doubt, but the two main ways that I like to use walls is either I'm defending on top of them, or I'm letting the enemy attack them and fighting them on the walls while I shoot them. And it's looking like Beast Mode is aiming to do that. So if he gets these men, his Romena, just to battle it off with these guys in a nice way that he can sort of still expose the Shadow Guard to arrow fire. You know, that's really the issue with the Shadow Guard. Lacking any sort of shield and really not having great quality armor. You know, they're quite a skilled unit for the heckin' big weapons that they use. We've got a push across the bridge now, actually. So, seeing how aggressive their allies are on the other end. Oh, you see, I'm not a huge fan of this. Again, it's good. It works. It works. I'm just not a big fan of it. You know, it's going to shield you to arrow fire. But MSQ is not allowing them to gain much ground here. Now, this siege tower is going to damage that formation, but to be honest, I think that's probably going to help the defenders more than anything. Because that will just be a blocker in the way, so they won't be able to really launch one of these sorts of attacks. It's crazy. Yeah, so you can see, whoa! Whoa! Just shunting these men back. Oh wow, interesting. I didn't think that they'd be able to... I thought they'd have to drop it already. That's them dropping it now, but it pushed all the way through. And they're going to... how does this look on the minimap? Yeah. That's pretty clever. No, as I say, but well, I don't think that's really benefited anybody, but you know, the formation has been a bit shattered. Black Hole's losing his boys. They're running on back. MSQ's lost a few men. Surely those archers aren't out of ammunition. Pharaoh's gotten some men past. So maybe it was a pretty sound strategy. They're going to be engaging the Citadel Guard, though, and the Citadel Guard will mop the floor with these Variag warriors. They may be sword masters, but they're not quite that caliber. Some of MSQ's spearmen are kind of struggling on this front line. It looks like it's Pharaoh's job, sorry, to lead the initial push. I don't want it is coming in quick behind him. So it is nice that the boys on the other end are not taking their sweet ass time. Because Mark is going to be striking hard. Oh, he's stopped. Looks like these men have been given a hold order. That or they're a bit bugged out. I hope they've been given a hold order and we're not just seeing a bug here. On this end too, it looks like they've... Oh gosh, these are the crossbowmen that are kind of leading this charge here. I know that he wanted to get them on the walls, but this is just a bit scary. What's going on, Mark? I don't really know. Mithrandir's retinue is lurking around there, with the other retinue force moving up. Trebor is going to be making an attack now, but that retinue is going to be able to pull off a great charge up against the orc fodder. As I say, they may be able to get an anti-cavalry bonus, but they're not great quality. And yeah, it doesn't... Oh, right, okay. No, I thought Y2K was just not going to care and he was just come slamming straight into it. Because with a good charge from the Mithrandir's retinue, you'd probably drop about 40 orc fodder. And would it be worth it? 40 orc fodder for one retinue man? Let's see how it goes. Oh, I don't know. That charge wasn't really as great as I expected it to be, and he's already lost a guy. Yep, okay, no, sorry, I definitely misspoke. But it was a bit of a strange charge from Y2K. Shadowbow's coming forward, yeah, Trebor, I don't know. I think he needs to get stuck in. Because his ally on the other side sort of is. And the allies across the bridges, they're going to be doing it soon. Alright, looks like those crossbowmen have kind of just jumped on in. I think he's just sort of gathering his people. There's a bunch of siege towers here, but not all of them are actually ready. Okay, good. He did catch this. I think it was probably an accident. And the crossbowmen are coming back down. Flagrim are much better equipped to deal with this sort of situation. Across the bridge. or well, on this side of it, but on the side with the bridges, we have quite a conflict now. Looks like this is generally MSQ on this sort of situation. So a good bit of micro sort of dealing with this and also mucking about with your Mithrandir's retinue. It'd be fantastic if you could just give units to your allies midway through the game, but you can't really do that in this, because you would just want to give Y2K the other Mithrandir's retinue, and so you can be fully focused on this. Because in a lot of ways, he's microing against 3 people right now. Yeah, we're not seeing an attempt to come across that bridge, so I just don't think you can.
Curses! The enemy are battering down our gates.
No, I think it would be a bit crazy if you could. I know you can come across this bridge when it's dismantled, well, partly dismantled, but they've not made an attempt to do that today. Which so they're kind of limited to 1 choke point, which is certainly going to lead to a lot of bloodshed. Are we getting ranger fire? We're about to, as MSQ rattles on. What are we at generally? 4 for 7. But that's what you should really expect from an attacking force. I feel bad about those initial troll losses being part of that, but hey, it's the way it goes. Tribu's slamming away at the front gate here. And his army's so far back, but as I say, he just wants to keep them safe.
Blast their eyes! The enemy's ram is through our gates.
Which I'm sure and nobody blames him for. When it comes to this sort of conflict, it's good to bust open the gate, but you're not gonna beat Gondor in a gateway fight. The best choice for Trebor would be just to get as many siege towers on those walls as he can and just flood forward. Just take the ground from him as quickly as possible and hopefully just overwhelm. I think that's generally Y2K's forces. It's quite good how they've split up. You can see beast mode is generally 1v1ing up against Mark right now, and that's really not going to leave Mark in a great situation, because 1v1ing with a defender is never going to go well. And then over on this side, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I just lost connection. My internet's been a bit dicey. Over on this side, it seems to be Y2K is generally going 1v1 up against Mordor, which I know, of course, they'll be leaving a lot in reserve, and if MSQ needed them, yeah, there's lots of men that could easily sort of move to assist MSQ, but sort of is leaving MSQ sort of 1v3ing right now. But with his Fountain Guard on the front line right now, that's not something that you can really break through. Even, yeah, I don't know how I'd really begin bursting through this. I think your best course of action, because that's a thick line, it's a thick line of very heavy Gondorian men. Citadel Guard stuck in there. The Black Legion could bust it open. But the way that I would want to do this is just get some javelins forward, rattle into it. Nomadic infantry here. Yeah, see, I fear that the attackers... Oh, those are some really nice shields, aren't they? I fear that the attackers might have spent a bit too much on archers. And as I mentioned before, just about sort of combat width, you're not really able to get enough archers firing at one time. We're at 53,000 frame battle here, so it is fair to assume that, you know, time is not really something that the attackers are worried too much about, which is good. It is a terrible shame when the attackers kind of do stuff just for the sake of, oh, I just need to get the battle over with. It's gone so long, you know. It's because that's you know, it just, when you lose and you've kind of got an excuse for it, it's crap, you know? It's like, yeah, I could have beaten you if I was wanting to let it last for a little longer. It's like, yeah, well, you know, hey, that's the way it goes. Narem opening fire. Oh, that's a bit of a, I guess they're trying to shoot the guys on the walls. So, even if those siege towers were there, it's a tough shot. I'd maybe be holding that fire. See, this is the thing. Get somebody manning that tower, move it there, and then climb up. You know, like, I know he's doing it as kind of a shield, but right now the shield is working against him. You know, I'd be wanting to grab these towers and just get every single point I can and just flood over these walls. But also I would have maybe held back a little bit longer. Just not much longer, but just until you're 3 over here. Oh, dearie me, that's already kind of jumping a little bit because of the corpses. Should be alright. We'll just have to, whenever we're looking at the bridge, we've sort of just got to lean back a little bit. I really do want to try and bump up the graphics that I do tend to play games on, but that does mean I can't really get stuck in as deeply as I like to sometimes. I will. Oh.
The enemy are battering down our gates.
Oh, looks like we've got another gate smashing. It looks like the Mark is coming in for it. Some good damage here from MSQ, just coming forward with his Fountain Guard and Citadel Guard. I'm really fond of this, using these high quality units so early on, because it just means that, well, the attackers are going to have to counter it with some high quality units. And once they counter it with high quality units, maybe they've not noticed these Athelian Rangers coming forward. And that could be pretty bad for them. Gondorian archers opening up. Even the standard Gondorian archers are going to be racking up some good kills up against these Norad halberdiers and such. Oh dear, yeah. I'm just scared about a very quick ranger volley just coming right on through and just ooh, bing bong. Oh, Moron halberds kind of enjoying that fight. Yeah, it's a bit balanced right now, but I think it's generally in Trebuchet opening up, and that was a good shot. It looks like it just struck down a. We'll see in a second. That was a ram. That was a very accurate shot from that Trebuchet. And now the boys have to go and get another ram, so they're just buying themselves time with that shot, which is good. Now that siege tower, you know, even to be honest, even if the ram got moved up, I don't think that they would have been able to. They're gonna spend more time. Sorry, they're trying to speak over the announcer. They're going to spend more time just getting through that front line. And this is why it's just so important for these two attackers just to bide their time. You know, just chill. Just relax for a minute, you know. Because your buddies across the way need to do some damage first. The Flag Rim have actually had some good success, which is surprising. Why aren't these Belagar archers open? Oh, they already have. Oh, gosh. That's a... Oh, like... Yeah, because the Belagar archers were firing up and over a bit. But I don't know. Maybe. Because this is the right side, which is great because their shield is on the left side. So if you can get them turned around so they're facing right. If they're facing left, then they're still getting their shield value. But good thing is, they are getting fired upon by the towers, which is nice. Oh, and we've actually got a good push through the gate now. The Romena Barum will make swift work of this, especially backed up by some Belagar pikes. But you'd maybe want to get something else up there. I just think Beast is maybe leaving a bit too much in reserve right now. Mark is really coming forward with his full force. And that is going to be, that could really shake things up. So Beast Mode is, I think Beast Mode is going to be sacrificing. I think he's going to be falling back to the tighter spaces here. Which it's not a bad idea, but it just the issue is once they take those walls, Trebor could just walk in with his entire army because once you fall back, Y2K is going to have to fall back. But if he feels he's going to be much better off defending and fighting in the city streets than on the walls, then all the power to him, really. You know, that's a good choice to make. And he's getting some good volleys off here into the gate push with those shadow bows. But I do worry what's going to happen when these Eastern crossbows get properly set up and start volleying in. Let's go back to the bridges, see what's happening. Another siege tower moved forward. As I say, it's fine. You know, it's just what you gotta do sometimes. You know. Oh dearie me. Yep, we're just gonna have to look at it from over here. It's crazy to see that early in the battle, so many corpses just gathered up, but it's just the fodder of all these three armies. And MSQ, although I think he is definitely making some good exchanges here, you know, he's taking a lot of damage to his very important units. More Belagar archers coming forward from Black Hole. They've definitely not fired many shots. More non-archers. As I say, it's just so many archers on this side, and they need to make sure they use them properly. Because they just, you know, they won't be useful in melee later. Halberdiers waiting by, which I think is smart. Oh god, 68 Norad halberds. I hope they come back. So that'd be a very, really upsetting loss. Once again, zooming over here. Because I think this is really... The Mark of the Knight is really sort of making his mark on this battle. MSQ is coming over with his Vanguard of King Elisar, coming into the backs of these men. Mithrandir's retinue. You see, this is great. You know, Mark is keeping his back covered very nicely, and I just don't think that they're going to be able to make use of the Dragon's Breath. I don't know if it's I think there's maybe some better artillery pieces you might have wanted to take. But to be honest, saying that, if Mark had been over here with the Dragon's Breath, that would have been an absolutely brutal position for it. So yeah, I think it's right to take it. It could have been fantastic, but just because of his deployment zone. Oh, 140 Moron infantry there fighting to the death. That is really sad. It's a mass rout there. We're seeing the Blackguard actually. Are we able to get maybe a better view of what's going on? We zoom in like that. Look how just deep the attackers' line is in comparison to the defenders there. As I say, I wish we could kind of tell a bit better, but it's just it's too laggy. You know, we'd be seeing a slideshow if we zoomed on in. But no, it goes back deep, but so much of it is sort of routing. Those Moron infantry are down to 78. I hope they kind of get a few slashes in before they all get wiped out. These Athelian Rangers, I think they've taken some losses. Yeah, a handful. But I've not really seen them fire away too much. So if they begin to open fire, we definitely can't zoom in. We'll watch them fire, but I'm afraid that's all I can do. Sauron's well standing by. Yeah, these Gondorian archers can't have much ammo left because they've been going at it a while. But I think MSQ will just send them to the front afterward, and their heavy armored bodies will be beneficial on the front line. I think these Athelian Rangers are maybe waiting for that. So as soon as those Gondorian archers move out of the way, they'll move up to take their place and rattle in. Blackguard are making a push or making an attempt. So what do we have over here now? Mark's doing alright. He's racking up some good kills over here, I think. The Axemen have come forward from Y2K. Loknar Rim routing. Hopefully they were able to fire off their shots. I'm pretty sure they were, though. He's forcing his Dragon's Breath in. But it's getting pretty scary. I think once he gets that Dragon's Breath in, it'll be safe from the Mithrandir's retinue. And yeah, that Gamp Rim, just one unit of Gamp Rim lined up there, that Lancing Cav can't do anything. Sauron Rim battling away with the Shadow Bows. Yeah, units of Mark have just sort of gotten right stuck in now. These Royal Guards still have their bows out, but they might only have 1 or 2 shots. So I think they're just being charged forward to just wipe out these Narim. Which they will do with ease. I do like the Royal Guard. It's where I tend to put my general when I play as Numenor or Umbar, to be honest. Romena Abarim are coming forward now, which I think is good from Beast Mode. Along with a little help from his friends, I think he'll be able to retake control of this area as long as those crossbows... Oh, damn. It's those crossbows that are a big issue, I think. Because they've just been allowed to get in. MSQ sort of silencing that with some Pilgrim Marines. And once those Pilgrim Marines are sort of sorting them out, I don't see them escaping. Now, I think there will be a door. It's bright. Somebody's painted over it, but the door still works. You know, oh, jeebers. Mark is getting really good at just, like, forcing these guys in. What about Mordor over in the far side? I'm seeing a unit right there, which makes me think we're about to get an attack. Yeah, it looks like Wardens of the White Tower are coming to answer it, though. And Orc Fodder are not going to be enough to deal with that. But yeah, this is definitely... Trebor's got, well, what I believe is the right idea. I'm not going to say it's definitely the right thing to do. But he's coming forward a lot of siege towers. The Mithrandir's retinue are all the way over here. I know they can come across the battlefield quite quickly, but I'd be tempted to just go get really stuck in now because, you know, once you see your enemy, like Y2K is sending quite a lot of units over to the other side now. Once you see that happening, I think you need to start pressuring, because, you know, yeah, because your when your enemy feels comfortable enough to move across the battlefield, you know, you need to pressure him a bit.
Siege tower is naught but kindling now. Beware, lest they try some other trick.
I've not heard that voice line in a really long time. Yeah, I wonder what siege tower it was that burned down. Must have been one of the Mordor ones. Yep, there it is. Yeah, this one is shattered. So that's a bit unfortunate. The Wardens will not get their fight today. I say it's the Trolls that were really sort of going to be useful at just smashing through units like the Wardens of the White Tower. Probably not the Mountain Trolls, but the Olakai. Oh yeah, again. Yeah, this is a really interesting little battle on these bridges, and it's just too bad that I can't zoom in on too much. Okay, Gondor archers are moving up now, which makes me... oh dear, those Athelian rangers took a bit of a beating, and there's so many archers from the defenders here that it's... yeah, it would be wasteful not to just rattle off some shots toward the rangers. But yeah, maybe that bridge just can't be used. It's very possible. But if you could just get across, say, 2 nice beefy units of Moron infantry or Nurad footmen, and just get them slamming down this way, that would be fantastic. Just anything to pull off a bit of pressure. Because Gondor, this is the type of fight that Gondor is thriving in. They love this. Even wavering, those Gondor spearmen, oh dear, they're wavering now. And they're exhausted. So MSQ is suffering some losses here. And these Gondorian archers routing back at 56. I don't know. Maybe it is time to throw in the towel and fall back. You know, take his kills and retreat with them. Because the enemy have already suffered so much, and they've not even taken the walls yet. You know, they've not even reached the walls, and they've already suffered tremendously on that side. Yeah, I think, as I say, with all the help from that's over here now, and Beast has come forward with a lot of his reserves, his elite reserves, they're just able to grab the Mark of the Knights units. You know, I was so impressed with Mark getting those Eastron crossbows in. I'm surprised he got the bloomin' Dragon's Breath cannon in too. You know, it was doing those. It was those 2 sort of major things that I was like, yep, he's dominated over here. He's gonna win. But as I say, Mark threw in his reserves. Y2K sent over some boys. MSQ sent over some boys, and it's nothing. It's Mark has done absolutely the best that he can, but as I say, this is just the way it goes. If the defenders coordinate well, which they did just there, it's going to be finished. So Trebor needs to be careful here, because as I say, once Trebor is dead and gone, all the defenders can fully focus on the eastern side. You know, do we still have any runic boys? Are there any men of the east still standing? They're all running off back to the north, back to whatever sort of route they used to cross the river. We've got some Flagrim valiantly gathering up to defend the in a rear guard action, but the Mithrandir's retinue is going to be able to sort that out. We've got some Belegar footmen that are chasing them off. Good for them. No, I think that was just an accidental thing. Beast Mode's just forgotten to bring them on back. Hey, we can see maybe this battle will come down to just these 8 remaining Belegar footmen arriving at just the right time. And let's admit, I got a little bit of lag for a second. These Dragon's Wrath crossbowmen are pretty substantial in a fight, but they are nowhere near capable of dealing with the Farzam Swordmasters. So they'll give it their best, and it just sucks that I don't think they were able to use up their ammunition properly. So yeah, Beast has racked up a few kills here. He's definitely spread a fair bit of panic among the defenders. Oh dear. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Obviously suffering some tremendous, you know, some tremendous loss from the rest of his unit. This man is struggling. I don't know, hopefully he survives. I suspect he will. I don't see anybody coming down there and trying to kill him off. Wardens of Minas Ithil. I never really take them myself. I rarely take Rangers, but when I do, I always prefer to take the Ithilien Rangers. So the Wardens kind of, you know, they pass me by, but I don't know, maybe I should give them a go. We have an attack made by Trebor now. So as I say, it's good that he's attacking, but he needs to be careful with it. He can't. It's not about winning over here anymore for Trebor. It is about holding attention and just kind of drip. I don't know. I never like to say drip feeding an assault. It just always sounds so negative. But I think that's just because I always listen to you know, Umad's videos. He always refers to it as a really bad thing, and I think, you know, it is. But sometimes just coming in little by little is, you know, when you're just wanting to like keep your focus and not die too quick, it's kind of what you need to do. Over here, though, saying that, you know, the boys are just not really able to get across this bridge. MSQ is able to put more and more of his focus over here, but the Fountain Guard are dead, and the Fountain Guard were a massive part of holding that. And we're seeing now it really is just got there's another fresh unit, well, not fresh, far from fresh. Another unit of Fountain Guard have been pushed on forward, but they're just supported by Pelargon Marines and archers. So I don't know if it's going to be enough. What are we at generally? 37 for 45. As I say, this is genuinely not too bad for the attackers. That's an alright percentage to be having. You'll be wanting to close that kind of soon, though. And I think as soon as this sort of position falls, as it will, oh, they're having victory now. Now, as I say that, the shield bearers are a good unit to have, and they've just broken. No, the shield bearers are standing. Sorry, it's the pikes that broke just there. So as soon as that position breaks, I think the defenders are going to be dropping a few more units, and I think MSQ won't have too much left at that stage. So now Beast Mode is coming over to repay the favour to Y2K, and give him a bit of assistance. These heavily damaged mountain trolls are just not really going to be able to match the Citadel Guard. Oh, the Black Guard of Barad-dûr pierced on through. I think we just saw a quick streak of ranger fire from the Minas Ithil boys. And guards of Osgiliath coming in behind them. You never want to be backstabbed by pikes. You know, you never really want to be facing pikes head on, but you know, when you're in this sort of situation, sort of jammed in between two units of pikes, you're never going to last for very long. Citadel Guard battling away with the Orc Javelins. They really needed to get their volleys off, and again, I hope they have been able to, but they might not. Mithrandir's retinue have come on through, and they've found a good opportunity to strike at the elites of Trebor. He's got to sacrifice somebody, and the Temple Executioners have been chosen for that. Yep, Minas Morgul chosen. See, this is kind of thing, you need to just get these men up on the wall. I know I said that it should take us time, though. I don't know. Just you need to be watchful. Sorry about my phone. I don't know how well this microphone picks that up, but yeah, good. Just a nice long stretched out line that we're seeing Trebor pulling off here, and that'll be what he needs. They're catching the Orc Javelins. Orc Javelins, as I say, they're in melee, but that's too small a unit. They can't really just... I think that's Mark admitting defeat. As I say, he really... Yeah, that's the flag rim kind of broken. If I was Mark, because I'm a very bitter loser, I would have definitely come in and slain these last 8 men.
They have lost half their
but no. He gave a good go. He definitely did. Perhaps just ever so slightly too quick off the mark, but no, he made it work. And it was just too bad what happened with his crossbows. Had he been able to enact his plan, it would have been horrendously brutal for poor old Beast Mode over there. Again, Y2K. Oh, Y2K's over here now. Sorry, I need to try and catch sight. Is that Y2K's Fountain Guard that we caught sight of? No, sorry. Yep, just a little bit too laggy for me to get a good view of it. Yeah, for some reason, you watch me from the right, and it's fine. But don't watch me from the front or back. I guess because when I'm watching from that end, I'm also looking at the rest of the battlefield. What is Y2K saying? Veterans of Osgiliath are coming forward. They're definitely not too bad in melee, especially since all of them have received a double melee upgrade. Pilgrim Marines coming forward too. And MSQ is sending forward some Axemen. I think this is a pretty sound strategy. Because, you know, this side of the battlefield is done. And your best position to hold them is this bridge. You know, it seems sensible to fall back and hold them on the walls. But you really... Gondor would benefit so much from holding them at a choke point. So that's exactly what they're doing. And I'd say MSQ is using up just about all of his reserves to hold them in place, while his two allies finish off Trebor. And once they do that, he'll be able to come on forward. The Wardens of the White Tower even sort of jumping into that siege tower to battle them back. Temple Executioners, though, I'd definitely like to see that fight. It's just a handful of Sentinels remaining there. But the Bulldogs, they're AP. They're pretty unpleasant guys. Happens when you've got demigods and, you know, taking over the bodies of orcs. I believe that's the whole meme with them, anyway. Yes, we've got the Orc Javelins. No. Oh, yeah, I think they do still have ammunition. If not all of them, then at least some of them. And these towers are rattling off shots all the while that Trebor has got his men sitting here. He's just taking arrow after arrow from those siege towers, from those highly accurate siege towers. So it's that'll definitely be mounting up, like little by little. Certainly will. Nimlothian Honor Guard from MSQ. MSQ is really bringing out the big guns here. So that'll if that doesn't get but he may be bringing out the big guns, but there is a break. Quite a substantial break. So this is good on Pharaoh here. The Nimlothian Honor Guard will catch these Norad footmen, and they might even just break them. Damn it. That was a good move from Pharaoh, but no, that's it, broken. A lot of those men are going to get caught in the retreat, and Norad footmen are expensive now. They're not the cheap purple boys that we used to have in 9.6. They're actually solid line infantry that can, you know, they're not just little boys with a hook that can get some AP damage on the go. So losing that many of them is a terrible loss. You know, when the attackers really need to just gain some ground. Nimlothian Honor Guard start chasing them back, and yeah, it just seems to be a battle of that bridge now. It's alright. Let's rescue ourselves from this. Good. I love that central dome. That's nice. It probably does have. It will definitely be named. Sorry, it will definitely be based on a structure. That's MSQ only down to half of his men there. I thought that would have happened a long time ago. But Trebor, what's going on? Let's get some rear shots into those chosen, but those chosen need to be facing the other way in order to watch out for the Mithrandir's retinue. Yeah, Trebor is just kind of holding the line now, which is sensible. Like, there's no point in throwing himself in, because if he throws himself in, he'll rack up a good few more kills, but he'll be gone, and then that will mean all of these reserves, whatever is left, can just turn around and come straight toward the bridge. So it's pretty boring, don't get me wrong. Like, it won't be too fun for Trebor, but it's the smart plan. Yeah, this is what's going on here. Are these... No, don't hunt for him. No! Oh, he's okay. Thank fuck. My poor boy. He's seen terrible things. He probably never got up the siege tower. I don't think he even saw combat, but that's fair. He's still seen terrible things. So, yeah, generally we've got a... Yeah, this is the main confrontation. It's too bad because, you know, this is definitely where the main action is, and I just can't get close enough to it. But we'll stay here for a time until but I will keep checking on Trebor and seeing if he makes a move. Okay, bold use. Of course, that trebuchet is too tall to fit through. I'm sure MSQ would want to move it right up to, move it right up to sort of there, right behind the line, and just rattle shots clean in. Coming up and over the way he is, he's got a much bigger chance of friendly fire. But, you know, if he's willing to take that, he's got a lot of ammunition to spend. It's these siege towers, I don't know. Those siege towers are going to just take volleys. I guess he's shooting all the way back here. Yeah, it's good that he's using it, because I think it's these archers back here are pretty blobbed up, and it'll just be pretty dandy to just rack up a few more kills there. Let's see what the attackers really have in reserve. Temple Executioners, do they have an armor upgrade? They do not. People are just not giving them armor upgrades anymore, which I'm happy. I like it, because you know, I think they look far better. Well, I think they look far more menacing without the armor upgrade. Like this, I think they look awesome with it, but you can't argue that looks, you know, you can't argue this looks more evil than this. So, but yeah. Then Belgath Marksman, again, it's more archers for the attackers, and I just think they've got too many. Now this is something that's always tough to coordinate between people. You know, nobody really wants to listen to you recite your army list before a battle, you know, to make sure. Oh yeah, the pumpkins. Hey, oh look at those boys, nice. Yeah, little farm on this island. It's every time I've seen Osgiliath, there's always like a little farm on this island. More NORAD units just retreating back. It's like I feel the attackers need more morale buffing units up on the front line, you know, because I'm just seeing like 32 men, that's fair. But, you know, we've seen some big units routing from the front line. Maybe even Mordor could have benefited from the troll drummers. I often think Mordor doesn't need it. Like, of course, I don't bring them with the Orcs of Misty Mountains, but it makes sense when people do. Right, Trevor's actually done a pretty sensible thing here. And he's fallen straight on back. Now this is just so that he's not suffering those free kills from towers, and yeah, he's just keeping himself safe. So that's fair enough. And because he's still here, he could still push in very quickly. If Y2K wanted to send those pikemen, those Citadel Guard, these pikemen, for instance, or you know, even 20 Fountain Guard could be fantastic over there. You know. Anything that he wants to send over there, he can't, because he needs to hold here. But it does look like it is now just Y2K. So Y2K is now just in a Siri match. Beast Mode's got his Sentinels up there, but generally this will just be Y2K kind of just perched and just watching, you know? Which is fair. Hey, you know, you play your role. You play your role. Now what's this unit over here? Oh, the footmen, fantastic. Yeah. The 8 Belagar footmen just standing guard, making sure that no further Easterling aggression occurs on this gateway. Some Belagar archers kind of getting lost on their way to retreat. Some units not really, well, just getting glitched out. Royal Legion of Armenelos standing here. They're still fresh and clear. Some spearmen there routing Nimlothian Honor Guard for Y2K. That's where he's put his general. Sensible choice, as I say, very sensible choice. But it's the shield wall. You know, I like my rally ability. It's not super useful, but okay. So MSQ has suffered a lot of losses to his rangers, but they're still alive, and they're still gonna be rattling, you know, streak after streak of blood down that front line. That was a close hit from MSQ's Treb. Oh dear. Oh sorry everyone. Oh no, sorry. Come on, fight our way over. There we go, good. I'm surprised I'm not crashed. Like I'm chuffed to bits with that. But okay, so he has been scoring some good hits on this bridge. Oh, those trolls, dude. I don't know, I feel those trolls are a little too close. Trolls are fast, just keep them a little further back. Because all I'm worried about is a lucky Treb shot hitting a troll. Oh, thank God. I think the trolls are his target. I'm pretty sure the trolls are his target. Because yep, good, he's seen it. He has seen it, and he definitely doesn't want to be hit. Oh, the siege tower's on fire. Must have been a few too many Treb misses. Oh, crap, dude. That was 3 Olokai taken out just there. Is it? No, sorry, no, just so many corpses it looks like an Olokai. Variag warriors there. I don't know if they were already broken. Yeah, siege.
Lest they try some other trick.
So now we are just yeeting cows. So although as bloody as that was, we no longer have any ammunition. So that is pretty dang good for the attackers. Sorry, got a little bit distracted for a moment. Oh dear, yes, lag. Let's just come on back. Yeah, oh dear, I don't know. The attackers just they seem to have run out of steam, but the distraction whose name is Basil was not willing to be ignored, so he has now been grabbed and taken inside. So we've still got some decent. I guess as I was saying about the morale buffing units, the Saurons I think they buff morale. And they wow, thank you. And they were pushed up to the front line quite early on. And apart from that, it would be a case of exposing your generals to that sort of conflict. Basil, you're inside or not? Ah, sneezing. He does this. When I ignore his cries, he knows that if he pretends to sneeze, that makes people do things for him. So he's. I know. I love you to pieces. So we've only got 10,000 more, but well, more than that. We've got about 20,000 more frames, Basil. 4 of these Mithrandir's retinue, and all 4 of them are lancers. So it's weird. It's interesting they've got their swords out as they stand there. Yeah, cool. Like by that I mean there are no flag bearers among them. This is pretty good. Trebor is coming around with his siege towers. That's pretty clever. Oh goodness, Beast Mode has a lot of men standing by here, all bowmen, but they're oh no, not all of them. But even the Romena bows are better than most nations' line infantry. There's been oh wow, Basil, chill. I know, I love you to pieces. So okay, I'm going 2 seconds. I know I mentioned it quite a lot, but there has been a lot of discussion over on the last alliance Discord for a little while just about the strength of some of the units, and there's just a lot of people I feel speaking about kind of speaking without really caring what Tolkien's lore is. If you get what I'm talking about, people that feel everything is too powerful without really registering that these aren't soldiers we're talking about, these are Numenorians, these are superhumans. So I'm just saying that from leading on to the point of Romena bows just being these incredible powerhouses in melee, and it is just because at the end of the day they are soldiers of Numenor. They are, purebred Dunedain, and it's so yeah, it's sensible. Okay, we've got the Olokai sent forward, but oh yeah, you can see here's just the remnants of those poor guys that ended up routing. But no, so there's lots of people that I just think are too focused on realism without actually caring what realism they're relating to. But yeah, hey, there was that discussion is done. It was very got a lot of people very upset. A lot of people that shouldn't have been getting upset. But hey, it's just the way things go. Y2K here, still standing, opening fire now. As I say, this is great. So MSQ might be really on his last legs now, sending forward his vanguard of King Elisar, but Y2K is coming over, and along with Beast Mode's units too, and they still have ammo. It's weird, there were so many ranged units on this side of the battlefield and not on the other, whereas if all those archers had been on the other side of the battlefield where they could be used, it's so much better to have an archer-focused force on the west side of Osgiliath and a melee force on the east side of Osgiliath. It's important to kind of... Some people are really good at it. I'm really bad at remembering where I will be on a map. But for sieges like this, especially, it's really good to know where you're going to be attacking from. And most people are just not going to know. Ah, yes, Trebor, okay. But, as I say, there's so many boys here. And it's such skilled forces. Temple Executioners will hold their own for a while. And he's got the Nazgul. Where are the Nazgul heading? I don't know. Where? We saw them. We saw them earlier. They were kind of hanging around here. No. No, no. Are those Shadow bows still have ammunition? They need to maybe find a shot. I don't know where they'll get one though. Temple Executioners have come down now, as have the Temple Guard. Temple Guard still have ammo, I think. Yeah, they do. The attackers just... It's certainly not their fault, but the attackers just haven't been able to use their ammunition today. Bulldogs coming right in from the front. That's pretty good. If they can really interrupt these guards of Osgiliath... Oh! Ah, so there were Nazgul on the bridge. There were Nazgul. We knew that. Oh, wait, sorry. No, yeah, we're seeing Nazgul inside. So that's Khan's General. Sorry about the lag again there. Oh, dearie me. This is a shame. This is going to take some time. Yep. Oh, well, we're getting a really, really nice shot of this vanguard of King Elisar trying to slam his sword down onto the back of a Nazgul. Looks like he's fighting side by side with a spearman or perhaps a Citadel Guard, but I think just a spearman. Citadel Guard, I think they have capes. Might be wrong with that. Yep, we're still going. We're still going. Cheaper to say. Storm Guard are there. The Storm Guard will be fantastic. And we saw there's the General of Khan too. There we go, we're back. Cheaper's sake. Oh no, Khan's General's gonna die soon in a minute as well. Ah no. It's fine, we'll be okay. Note to MSQ for the next battle, don't hold them on one choke point the whole battle, okay? Seafarers of Nindimos have come forward here. Battling out with this Minas Morgul Chosen. Managed to break them there. Yeah, that's... They're a tough morale unit to break too. Yeah, so you can see the Citadel Guard here have capes on. Damn nice looking boys. But Minas Morgul Chosen there actually have some half decent armor for an orc. So the Citadel Guard would be fantastic against them. Bulldogs of Durthang actually really coping quite well there. And now this is clear. That ledge is clear. Is there maybe a shadow bow that can sprint on up? I don't know where the shadow bows are. Yeah, it seems Trebor's just trying to daisy duke them about a bit. He'll hopefully find a good opportunity, but the defenders are they're outnumbering over here really quite badly. And I'm not too sure how we're spending 10,000 frames, to be honest. Yeah, Temple Executioners from I Don't Want It. It's such elite units on the front line here, and they are actually gaining some ground. They're getting some good kills. But they're going to be, you know... And Y2K, I think that, like, MSQ's been using his elite units, and he doesn't have many left. But, like, Y2K is going to be really struggling with it. After this. He's got his veterans, like, Wardens of Menethissel. They're decent to fight, but... They're certainly not on the same level as some of the elite units. Ah, good. If Y2K can hold the line with his Fountain Guard, yeah, doesn't matter what's really coming at the front of them. They'll hold. And the Royal Legion of Armenalos is there too, along with some Nimlothian Honor Guard. Yeah, no, they've got their fair share of elites too on the Numenorian and Descendant side. What do we still have in reserve here? Some Variag Bowmen coming forward. Variag Bowmen again. Alcrondas Legion, they'll fight to the last. A lot of Black Coals boys here. Axe Guard, Alcrondas Legion, Sentinels, pretty good stuff, and then some Royal Guard again, Bowmen. But Bowmen with a damn mean streak of melee afterward. I always like this staircase for some reason. You know, just imagine like, well, of course, pre-fall, living in this house and just, you know, you just step on down. You've got your own little like route to the river. It's great. You got your boat. Yeah, it'd be good times. Osgiliath would be a lovely little place. What's this? Ah, nice. Stakes on the ground. Again, I just fear randomly putting down stakes is a very frightening concept to me. Just because I forget where they are. And if your allies randomly put down stakes and you're just running your wargs around to counter enemy cav, and it's like, oh, yep, dead. Y2K is actually having some difficulty here as he sends forward his marksman, and Variag Warrior's actually doing some quite good work. I see, yeah. I say this side, I don't know. Ooh. I got too cocky, but I say this side, I don't know why, but we're just getting pretty good on this side. Like, you know, we don't really lag too much over it. Yeah, you see, it's not really got too much depth for the attackers on this end. It looks like the line starts there, but nope, it's just corpses. It's corpses, 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 corpses until here. So there's a good 20 yards of corpses behind those guys before before you actually get to the real meat of the army. Oh gosh, these bowmen. Those Romana bows have been taking a beating. What from? Must be crossbows, surely. Yeah, of course they're crossbowmen. We knew they'd be here. Yeah, that's a good target. Yeah, good target for Black Hole. Just rattles. Oh no, somebody's dead. General's dead. Yeah, I'll probably cut out some of the general deaths just because they're too long. I'll cut out everyone from this point on. I'll leave the two initial ones in. It's been a pretty weird little battle. I like Osgiliath. I like Osgiliath, and as I say, I like these sorts of themed battles. Well, not even themed. I like it when it's good versus evil is fantastic. Like, and then when you have good versus evil in situations where it's like Numenor and Gondor fighting alongside each other, or Gondor and Gondor fighting alongside each other. You know, it's stuff, battlefields where you're like, yeah, this is an alliance that can actually exist. Now, of course, Numenor and Gondor would never have existed, but you know, you get the concept of like Numenor fighting alongside their descendants. So we've got some Temple Executioners battling out. There's probably some Nazgul thrown into that mixture as well. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, no. Over here, the Shadow Bows. Looks like they're in guard mode. They're trying to fire off some more shots, but they're just not really going to make it. Wardens of the White Tower standing guard there. Are these the 8 boys? They're the 8 golden boys. I really hope I'd like them all to survive. That'd be nice. They just go and they grab their buddy who is probably still walking into that wall. Oh my dude. I'm so sorry. Yeah. They just go and they grab him and they just like make up and hang out. Yeah, the elite of Y2K is going to be getting brought around now and probably just coming in to finish it off. I'm just going to set myself up along the side here and just jump up into 2 speed. Just to, because there's really not too much going on across the battlefield now. So we'll just be watching here. Looks like we do have units falling back. Okay, that's another one that I'll be cutting. Thank goodness. Hey. We did it. We got through another one. There can't be many more generals to die. I just hope that Beast Mode and Beast Mode and Y2K don't decide to YOLO their generals into death on the bridge of lag. But no, I think, as I say, I'll talk about it more in the. I might as well talk about it now. Osgiliath is Osgiliath Rebuilt is not a map I've ever played on. Or, no, it's not a map I've played on in recent times. So, I mean in the past, like, year, you know? So, yeah, but I'd say probably about a year ago I played it. Back in 9.6, like, early 9.6 anyway. So, I think that, yeah, if you are coming across this bridge, like 3 armies coming across that one bridge is just not something. Is tough. It's very tough. Now, I'm sure like Lord Black. This is not on Lord Black Ghost. So I wouldn't have done this myself, and I'm sure he will do it next time. But when you're coming across here, you need to sprint across that bridge before somebody sets up on the other side, because you need to hold that side of the river. Because of course, in the non-rebuilt version, you can walk across the water, and it goes from being a choke point the size of that bridge, which is really quite narrow, to being, you know, where all of the paving is, from this side of the paving to that side of the paving. So it doesn't quite double it, but it makes it a lot wider, which I think it's even more than that, to be honest. And as I say, also you can cross this bridge too. Now I don't know if they could have crossed that bridge. It's Lord Blackhole's been around for a little while now. But as I say, he might have not been on this map. But as for I Don't Want It and who was Candian? Pharaoh, I've not really seen them kicking about too much. I've seen I don't want it in a battle or two before, but yeah. So it might just be a case of they didn't know how to cross it. And it might just be nobody can cross it. But it'll be a shame. And I'm sure, like, as I say, if you are ever on the east side of the river, you need to rush across the bridge as quickly as possible, because if the defenders can form up on this side of the bridge, which they were smart to do, like, that was definitely a good move from MSQ, and but if they can do that, then that's kind of a rip in peace from the get-go. You know, that really is a good move. So as they're coming in, and it's a good show that because the attackers have kind of been in a losing position for a while now, and it's really nice when they stick around. You know, it's good to fight a battle out until the very end, even if you know this isn't going to go well. This is not going to end in my favor. You know, it's nice to just stick with it. I think that the main killers for them on this side of the river were just morale loss, and how you counter that is generally just, as I say, like, try to get morale buffing units. But you know, I think they might have done that already, and you know, no matter what, men are gonna rout from the field. Like, you can have as many morale buffing units as you can, but apart from that, I think maybe javelin fire. I don't know. Like, there were orc javelins for days, you know, but even then, maybe orc javelins just wouldn't have been enough. So the sentinels are coming forward now. I think as well as that, it was generally just an issue with army composition. You know, when it comes to, you know, archers, really just there were maybe too many archers, and but that's just something that happens. You know, sometimes you just bring an army. Sorry about my group chat is just beeping away. So I think there were just too many archers on the attacking side over here on the east, and I think you know, there weren't too many archers on the west. I don't think, but you can use archers better on the west. So that's more a case of just people not really knowing where they're going to show up, and I don't know where I'm going to show up in maps. So, you know, that's fair. I don't really think there were any misplays. Like, this was not a case of the attackers on the east side being dumb and doing things wrong. This was a case of MSQ really doing a defense very damn well, and Gondor being fantastic for that defense. And it was also, you know, it was a situation of Y2K and Beast Mode being able to kind of 1v1 their opponents, and also knowing when to sort of back each other up, and you know, and then coming over here when they were good and ready. Like, MSQ's dead now. This is all Y2K and Beast Mode, and but it was because of MSQ's sacrifice here, and his willingness to just lose his entire army to buy time for his allies to kill off the enemy, that's allowed them to do this, and has allowed them to kind of just end up being the more numerous faction. Now, Gondor, I think Gondor does very nice. Gondor does incredibly well on the defense. They always will. They're just a very good defensive faction. It's you know, unfortunately, it's what modern day Gondor is built around. The idea of just holding on with you know, tooth and nail to every little piece of land that you have, because you're under threat from everywhere, apart from the northwest. And then you've got your blooming hill tribesmen that would probably, you know, have a go if they were willing, if they were able to. So yeah, so it makes sense that they can defend well, and the attackers, you know, all their armies made sense. You know, there was nothing too crazy. I guess Dragon's Breath cannon, but that's what I mentioned before, like a Dragon's Breath cannon on the east side. Wow, that, like, imagine if MSQ tried to do. Sorry about that. If MSQ tried to do what he did, and there was a Dragon's Breath cannon sitting right there, that would just be like a no sir, no, go away. So he would have that would have been just as I say, like an immediate rip in peace. But and they would have had to fall back. But I think we've just got so many more men flooding forward now. Trebor's done his best over on the other side, but he's been dealt with. So it's No, but I think yeah, admit defeat there. Another probably Trebor, I think, or it could be Canned. I've not seen any Candish men for a while. Yeah, well, they're fighting to the death. I don't know if they'll fight to the death if you've bet defeat. Maybe they, I think they maybe will. Yeah, because they're still just routing at the end of the day. I think yeah, like any other issues, I think, you know, Trebor as it's just a lack of like something to counter enemy cav. You know, it made sense that he came at them with trolls, but you can't, you know, you can't do that. And Trebor won't make that mistake again. Like, everybody's got to go through that. Like, hopefully that's why you watch videos. That's why you watch Umad's videos, and, you know, he shows you what these mistakes are. Or you watch my videos and I explain why I'm an idiot. So that's generally, hopefully that's how you learn. But sometimes you just got to learn from making the mistakes yourself. That really is sort of the best way to make it stick. So yeah, Trevor's definitely not going to be doing that again. I'm sure these, they've just been trickling in. When does it end? But yeah, so that was definitely a bit of a goof, but I don't think that would have changed anything. I think that this holding the bridge was definitely the game ender, and the attackers over on this side really just sort of lacking the tools to smash their way across the bridge. What those tools were, it's hard to say. To be honest, oh no, not again. What those tools were, you know, I don't even really know. I think, to be honest, those siege towers kind of got in the attackers' way a fair bit. I think, you know, I'm just not a big fan of people using siege towers as like massive shields. It's, you know, it makes sense to do it, and you know, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. I think it's smart, but I just don't like seeing it when I'm in games. You know, don't you know, if this happens in a battle, don't not send it to me because I don't like it. It's just it's something that comes from vanilla that I'm glad we don't do all the time in Reforged. That's all. No, it's a very sort of it's something you need to do in vanilla because everybody does it in vanilla, but in Reforged it's just not something that everybody does. So yeah. But no, as I say, do it if you want to do it. Like, if a lot of people enjoy doing it, so yeah, of course, do it. But apart from that, yeah, I think it did kind of goof up their situation in the later stages then, because they became extra barriers to kind of try and push your way through. But yeah, so as I say, it was pretty good little battle there, I think. Yeah, MSQ was gonna rack up massive kills. He was fighting up against a lot of, I mean, a lot of heavy numbers factions from everybody. But no. Let's see how it all went. A lot captured too, Jeepers. Let's see how it all went for him. Vanguard of King of sorry, they came in toward the end and they were really rattling off against the elite of the elite. They were actually given an experience point. MSQ paid to give them an experience point. That's kind of cool. So they lost that, unfortunately, but they were up against some incredible enemies. So that's why, and they still managed to get a positive kill death. So, you know, good for them. Spearmen there holding the initial line, not actually racking up as massive kills as I was expecting. And what I'm really surprised about are the Fountain Guard. Well, the first Fountain Guard, that's the type of kills I would be thinking they'd get. Second Fountain Guard, I was expecting 200, definitely. Then the Gondor archers there, they're starting to get the meat of some kills for their price, definitely. Pilgrim Marines, pretty dandy, yeah, kind of what you'd expect. But there we go, the Athelian Rangers there, sort of rattling off to the very end. And then jumping into melee, but I think it was about 11 guys that ended up jumping into melee. So that was a big game winner for him, I think. They got some good targets there. When you're coming across a bridge where your sides are just totally exposed, that's just Rangers' playground right there. And then he even got some good shots like right on down the line toward the end too. Marksman and Carons, that surprises me. It really does. But yeah, fair. It's just the way it goes. Veterans of Osgiliath as well. I would expect them to be racking up a few more kills, but again, Wardens, some good lot of kills from the Wardens. They're a ranger type unit, and then they're decent enough in melee. Mithrandir's retinue, 18 kills. What the heck are they? Absolutely pathetic. But no, of course, those 18 kills were like mostly trolls, so that's why. And then of course it was a good display of just microing the Lancers, and then also focusing down here. So that's something that I really struggle with. So that was impressive. Trebuchet there, 400. Yeah, massive kills from there. A lot of troll damage too. It racked up a lot more kills than I was noticing. To be honest, I didn't expect it to be getting that many kills. I knew it would get over like 100, but that's quite good from its kind of dicey position there too. And then the Nemothrian Honor Guard did pretty nicely. Again, he gave them an arm. He gave them an experience bonus. So that's kind of cool to see. It's nice to see people kind of dishing out experience, because I don't. How many did the Rangers get? What? No experience for the Rangers? That's insane. I don't get. I don't know. So then the Axemen, but you see, because I never dish out experience, I just don't do it unless I absolutely have to, and then it goes on like cheap units. Then the Axemen of Losanak did quite nicely, and then as did the Citadel. That's some lovely kills for those Citadel Guard. And yeah, then we got Y2K, because we got another Gondor, don't we? Fantastic, yeah. Nemothrian Honor Guard, good. Yeah, they were thrown in toward the end. As I say, Nemothrian Honor Guard unit size is such a nice thing about them. You know, they're a full sized unit, and yet they're these 2 hit point beasts. Vanguard of King Elisar there died to the last man, killed, perfect kill for death. Good stuff. They were definitely racking up some good kills up against some important boys. Those Wardens, as we saw them toward the end, the Wardens were just following around Trebor, and just like, anything you can throw at me, I'm going to beat it. You know, the only thing they could really go toe to toe with them were the Executioners. So yeah, and the Nazgul, of course. But yeah, then the dual Fountain Guard. What? Ouch! 37 kills from the Fountain Guard. They must have been tossed around a bit. They might have gotten sent in here to the main bridge a bit. I think they were probably sent there when things got pretty chaotic up against the enemy elites. Whereas the other one, yeah, they were nice and healthy, so they were on standby. Citadel Guard, yeah, can't really go wrong with them. Guards of Osgiliath, kind of surprising. Would have thought the Guards of Osgiliath would be racking up a few more kills, but probably got pushed through a bit and facing off some decent units. Axemen there, yeah, 8 for those poor guys. Probably got shot to pieces, must have been. Axemen are pretty dandy. Marksmen, nice. Wardens, great stuff from those 306. The Ravenhelms there, yeah. I mean, I'd want to see more than 28 kills from a Ravenhelms, but no, they did their part. And then the Pelargon Marines dandy. You can't really go wrong with javelin throwers, and especially when 66 have actually come back and been healed. So they got dropped by archer fire pretty heavily, and that is good. So apart from that, beast mode did pretty dandy. I would have I think he was maybe off 2 mines for a little bit too long. Like, you know, it was kind of like, no, I want to fight in the middle of the city, which is cool, but I think it was because of what MSQ was doing on the bridge. It was very much a case of, you've got to kind of aggressively defend in order to deal with Rune, so that you can go and support MSQ, or so that you can go and replace MSQ, because he's gonna die. You know, he's fighting a few armies, you know, and so it did work out. But I'd say it took just a minute to be like, yep, no, this is happening. And it was great to see everybody kind of bind together and deal with those crossbows, because that could have been frightening. Trebor, big man. Yeah, actually, that's a lot more kills than I kind of expected. So that's good, because, hey dude, killing Gondorians is something. Sucks about the trolls, but as I say, it's the way that things go. Definitely knew when it was right to fall back. It takes a lot. It takes a big hit to the pride to kind of do that, and it's sensible when it's like, it is the right thing to do, to just come on back and wait, because your allies prefer you to do that rather than just waste yourself and get a few kills. Mark racking up some nice kills there. I'd love to see what the crossbows, how much fire the crossbows actually did manage to get down. And yet, it's just a shame that you weren't on the other side of the battlefield, because that would have made a very different match. I don't want it there. Yeah, he got an Oleg high hit from the trebuchet, which wouldn't have been fun to go through, but came in with some real numbers. So did Khan, jeepers, and did what he could there. Very different army to Trebor, as you can see. Just need to try and manage morale, but like I don't think there's much more you could do. You could take the troll drummers, but you know, that's a big investment. Apart from that, Lord Blackhole, yeah, he didn't know to charge across the bridge right away. I didn't know to charge across the bridge right away, and I'm sure he would do it definitely next time. I think with the amount of archers that they had, though, the attackers on that side, they probably should have just sat there and just covered MSQ and archer fire before they attacked. But because like Mark kind of went for it, they had to get stuck in. And Pharaoh, yeah, lots of numbers from him. A lot of routing that really upset me. So many Nurad footmen and Nurad halberds just running from the fight, which is a terrible shame. And yeah, so that is that. It was a good little fight. I like Osgiliath. I definitely like the white walls rather than the black walls, which a lot of people are getting. I'll call it there because that was a long ass battle. I was expecting, I had another one planned that I was going to record after this, but this went on for quite a bit of time. Oh no, thank you very much.